Final episode of Pentiment. Last time, we painted the Christian history of Curacao. We went with the more historical option of painting Lady Curacao founding the abbey. I would have loved to incorporate some of the mythological elements, but the the option that we were given for the mythological part was entirely ahistorical, like putting all the saints together, like welcoming people into the town. And I didn't want to go for like a purely fictional sort of narrative. And then the other two options we had were depicting the Bavarians settling in the region, or depicting the Swiss immigrants settling the region. And one of those is perhaps more accurate than the other, but the people consider themselves to be Bavarians largely. So either we would be going against what we know to be the historical truth, or we would be going against what we know to be the family history version of the truth. So what I went with instead was one that I felt was accurate and also not deliberately inflammatory. But we know that Father Thomas is not happy because we didn't depict the saints, and Werner said that other people might not be happy about it as well, but they can live with it. We also saw another mysterious figure in the abbey ruins while we were there. He ran away after he saw us, and we'd seen somebody painting on the Dance of Death, and adding to it with all of the people that have died in Curacao connected to the murders over the years. It's interesting because we also found out from touring the convent that somebody's been stealing paints from there. So I think that whoever was painting on the walls was probably stealing the paints from the convent, was probably the same person that Sister Marie thought was like a ghost because they rose up from the ground in the kitchen. They probably came up from that grate that we know leads under into the aqueduct. And then the other enduring mystery that we've been trying to figure out is there's used to be this building in Tassing called the Mithraeum that was here in the Roman times, and we finally saw a picture of it in the convent portion. It looked very similar to the Nymphaeum that we saw before as Andreas, and it kind of seemed to be underground to me. There was a roof and there was water coming in sort of on all sides. We also know it was destroyed in a flood. I'm thinking, I don't know what a Mithraeum is personally. I'm not a Latin expert or anything, but we know there was the Nymphaeum, which was a temple to the nymph Tassia. So I'm thinking the Mithraeum is also some kind of temple, and we know that the workers in the salt mine kept writing things like, if we can't ascend in the Mithraeum, we'll be down here forever or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. So it seems like it was a place of worship. It's possible the book that the sister was looking at was the Historia Tassiae, maybe the former abbot's copy of it. And I think that might also be sort of what started this whole thing from the beginning. When the Baron was coming in to try and give this book to the abbey, he said it had a scandalous secret. And we also heard one of the sisters talking about Mauritius, which is the Latin version of Moritz, Saint Moritz. I'm wondering if that's all sort of connected, and if the scandalous secret has to do with the founding of Tassing, with Saint Moritz perhaps like that being fictional, and with this like pagan Mithraeum something. I don't know exactly. Anyway, hello Cell, hello River. Let's do this. Let's solve the mystery and or get murdered by Father Thomas. So now we have to talk to the participants and the witnesses of the peasant revolt to try and depict that on our mural. We want to talk to Agnes. We want to talk to generally the peasants, and then we need to go to the Golden Hand, where people might be like feasting because it's currently Christmas Eve. So as usual, we're just going to go through the town and talk to absolutely everyone that we can find. This is nice. They're sewing like garlands in like a wreath. That's cute. There's a bunch of wreaths that have been sewn. They're getting a late start to their Christmas preparations, that's for sure, but that's not super uncommon in Germany generally to like do everything on Christmas Eve. Magdalene Druckerin, I didn't expect to see you today. How's your father? I'm sorry, I'd rather not talk about it today. It's alright, dear. Even after all the pain and illness I've seen, it's hard to bear at times. Now then, is there something we can help you with, dear? I'm not gonna be like, Agnes, you're old. Seems disrespectful. I have a small favor to ask. Oh, go on then, spit it out. If it isn't too much trouble, I'd like you all to recount what you remember of the revolt. I'm nearly done with my mural, but I need more details. I was so young I don't remember much of the night. Oh, for that project of yours in the Rathaus. I'm afraid I won't have much good to say about the matter, but alright. Come sit down, Magdalene. Don't worry about helping with the wreaths. It took me years to get the technique up to Mom's expectations, so you're better off not helping. Pah! You always did fine, Brigitte. So, Magdalene, what do you need to know to finish the mural? I was hoping to ask you more about the revolt. All I can remember was the flames when the abbey burned. What part of the revolt? The abbot starving us out of house and home? Otto's murder? I doubt that would be a good painting. Seems like the abbot at Kiersau wasn't on very good terms with Tassing. Everyone but that fucking Miller hated him, with good reason. He only ever cared for how many pfennigs he could get from us. Brigitte, don't forget to twist the ends in. Can't have it looking like a Christmas hedgehog. I'm getting there, Mom. I've looked after Martin and Croft well enough, haven't I? I can manage this. Yes, well, after your father died, I've got no one left to nag besides you and that husband of yours. Thank God I have the both of you, as a matter of fact. Let an old woman have her vices. The Gärtner house was a bit sad. Jorg always gets quiet this time of year. Whatever for? I reckon because that family's been hard-pressed since Peter died. Tossing's lost a good number of folk over the years, and feast days and celebrations make it harder to bear. You mean in the revolt, right? The revolt, the murders, that fool Andreas had to meddle in everything. Didn't do too much good, if you ask me. Andreas Mahler, the artist. I thought he was my dad's friend. He was, and I can't fault your father for that. Master Mahler was an interesting man. He'd already meddled enough in Tossing after the Baron's murder, that he held more sway than he knew. I could understand it the first time. He wanted to save that old monk. I dare say he saw him as a father. And it was proven the prior was a witch, so I suppose he did some good for Tossing then. I think Voislav might be the only person left in Tossing who even remembers the old prior. That's when the trouble started, I say. The townsfolk saw a monk killed, and the abbot was incensed. Then came the revolt, and Andreas Mahler happened to show up nearly the day of Otto's murder. Dad always says the townsfolk didn't stand with the peasants as long as they should have. Well, I won't begrudge Klausy's opinion, even if he's wrong. Shame it had to happen at all, I think. I knew the revolt was a bad idea from the start. Yeah, everybody is definitely sharing their true opinions about Andreas. But I also think, like, he was definitely an interesting person. Like, he comes in, meets all these people, is like promising them the world, like, yes, like, I'll visit as often as possible, like, I'm your best friend, I'll do everything. And then he just disappears for 7 years and doesn't write any of them. And then he comes back and is like, everybody is like invested in him. And then, you know, he gets himself killed by burning to death in the library. He's basically like a meteoric event that occurred on the town. So I'm not surprised that people either like him enough to name their kid after him, or they're like complaining about everything that he did. I mean, we also did get a woman killed that quite possibly didn't do anything actually wrong, so fair enough. Old Voislav would be the only one to know what happened inside the old church now before the fire. Some like to say things were always this bad, that violence was the only way, but it wasn't. Life got worse over the years. It wasn't like this when I was a child, not in my grandparents' time either. Sure, the abbot was pinching the townsfolk and the peasant were suffering, but to go against the church... But like you said, things weren't always so bad. We fought to make things right. But things got better in the end, right? Even if so many people died? What kind of good comes from violence? I've never seen Peter so angry. That soldier even warned Peter, but nothing would stop him besides steel. So, nothing got better at all? No, not as I see it. The Lord is just as severe as the abbot was, and threatens force at every turn. That's life. You can struggle and die to accomplish something, and nothing changes. Heh, the dead are luckier. They died believing they changed something. We're stuck with the harsh reality. This is all you've known, Magdalene. You've grown used to it. We all have. Thank you for sharing your story with me. It's important to share our suffering with the younger generations. Maybe they can change something. Good luck on the mural, Magdalene. Good luck, Magdalene. Oh, I didn't mean to make time pass. I wanted to talk to everyone first. Hopefully we haven't actually progressed anything. They've left the bakery unattended with the oven on. That's dangerous. They've already got scorch marks on their wall. I wonder if we can see the first part of the mural now. No, it's still covered. We do have St. Moritz in the middle here. I wonder if we painted that. I mean, it had to have been us, right? I'm really interested to see how the mural will turn out. Werner is gone. Did everybody, like, leave and go to the inn while we were talking to Agnes? Oh, they're still here. Ah, if it isn't Mistress Magdalene. Hello, Baltus. Hello, Ignazio. How are your inventions coming, Baltus? Oh, very well, thank you. I was just showing Natsu how our Rathaus clock works on one of my smaller prototypes. It is a fascinating process, truly. I had never considered that one man could make something so complex by himself. The clock tower is the wonder of Tassing, isn't it? I have not seen such a wonderful work of mechanical invention in such a small town. God has blessed you with Balthazar. I'm simply glad that Tossing appreciates my work after so long. You are too modest here in this simple alpine town. You really ought to come with me to Genoa. Oh no, I'm far too grounded here to manage that. That's you. Then I shall be forced to visit every year to settle your accounts. While I do, remind you of your genius. I think this has potentially part to play in why Werner is like a useless drunk now. Because the only person he seemed to like was Balthazar, and I personally believe that Werner is gay. So now Balthazar, he's been pining after for years, has hooked up with a hot Italian man, and so he's drinking himself to death. I wish you the best of luck. That is a very long journey. If you do intend to visit Gnazio, maybe you ought to stay. Oh, I couldn't possibly. The bank needs me more and more every year. In any case, shall we return to work, Baltus? Oh, yes, of course. Please excuse us, Magdalene. We're rather busy at the moment. Until later, then. So they're still here. I wonder if the peasants are still at their homes. Endris is gone. Ertz is gone. They're still here, working on stuff. Odd-looking masks. Hello, Magdalene. I would have thought you'd be working on the mural today. What brings you here? We're gonna progress time again. I would like to sit with you and ask how you remember the rebellion so that I can paint it, if that's all right. That was a sad time. If it will help you memorialize those we lost in the revolt, yes, I'll answer a few questions. I don't mind. I was a little older than you, so I probably remember more, Magdalene. Of course, Magdalene, we'll tell you all you want to know. I've been looking forward to seeing the mural for some months. Come now, sit with us. Now that you're all settled, what did you want to know? All the shortened versions sound worse. I don't know. I think Magda is fine. Could always go with Meg. But I think that's also worse than Magdalene. Now that you're all settled, what did you want to know? We're making one of these spooky masks as well. Did the revolt have anything to do with the other murder that happened in Tassing? Oh, the murder of the Baron, you mean? No, not really. I only remember that Andreas attempted to be a peacekeeper in both situations. I suppose that's when things started going poorly. Yes, after Prior Ferenc was discovered as a witch, people weren't as willing to trust the abbey anymore. Then that abbot became more severe. He didn't like that the prior's death rattled his control of tossing. I still think that the old prior cursed the town. That's when crops started failing. I don't know about any of that, but his taxes and restrictions and his attitude toward us became harsher after that. It was all we could do to live by them, but it eventually became too much. Even with all the restrictions, was the revolt really justified? I keep hearing conflicting stories about how it began. Agnes blamed Andreas for starting the revolt. Is that really true? Andreas only ever sought peace, from what I remember. He took it upon himself to try and keep justice in Tossing, even though it wasn't his home. Truly, it's thanks to him that we had peace for so long. We did everything we could to keep things from getting violent, but the Lord had other plans. I remember how sick and hungry I was all the time. Grandpa kept saying it hadn't always been like that. All was fine until Hannah, Nico's wife, killed Otto because she feared what would happen if the abbey shut down. While my husband wouldn't let that rest, we all wanted justice. When that soldier arrived and threatened us, all the townsfolk pulled away except for you and Ulrich, Gret. No, Clara, I'm afraid even I was intimidated and begged Ulrich to leave the matter be. My husband alone stood with the peasants. Dad always talks about how he regrets that choice. That's why he wanted to paint the mural. Your father is unique in that regard. Most of the other townsfolk see the revolt's failure as proof that it was doomed from the start. Truly, if the entire town banded together, we likely could have succeeded without violence at all. By then we were so starved and wanted justice so much, Peter truly thought success was possible. There was still some discussion. Ulrich and Andreas wanted peace. Then that fucking Miller protected that bitch. He always hated us, thought he was better than us. Ursula, language. What, Mom? It's true. Leonard even shot Ulrich out of nowhere. It was unprovoked. Yes, Leonard always did hate the rest of the townsfolk, and he would take advantage of anyone he could. My husband sought peace to the last. He was a martyr to us. I think the Miller shot Ulrich to retaliate, but after that, Peter couldn't be stopped. We'd lost too much. The burning of the abbey was a grim night, in the soldiers coming in. Our men fought to protect us, to protect Tossing, and many died in that fight. But we got rid of the abbot, and all the monks at least. Yes, and that is some comfort, if only a little. Are there any heroes of Tossing I should memorialize? Dad, definitely. Peter always wanted the best for Tossing, even if he acted rashly by setting fire to the abbey. I hope you can portray him in the best light, Magdalene. I'd rather not talk about that night anymore. I hope we provided enough insight for your work. You did, thank you. I'll let you get back to work. Thank you, Magdalene. I'm certain the mural will be beautiful. I feel like some people are not going to like it if we portray Peter as a hero. And some people might include the Lord. But, you know, we might do it anyway. We'll see. Hans Bauer has locked his house. Voislav and Matilda aren't here. I hope they're up at the inn, because I think we had things that we wanted to ask them. Martin Bauer has also locked his house. I hope we didn't miss them. Ursula is at her mom's house. The kids are having a snowball fight. Little Andreas has the same scarf that we do, which is cute. Yeah, I think this probably says Mauritius, and that's why it starts with an M-A. The valley looks so beautiful, covered in snow. We're gonna go to the inn last, because it seems like we have things to do there. Hello again, Magdalene. Are you getting ready for the Christmas celebrations? Of course, along with everyone else in town. I've never been here for Christmas. I had meant to move on, but the snow. Right, it came fast this year. Smokey told me your father was injured. How is he? Don't know, Václav. He's not doing well. I'm sorry. I will hope for the best. Well, I don't want to keep you from your tasks. Václav, do you want to come to the Christmas feast? Ha, kind of you to offer. My beliefs and well, how I look. It's best if I stay out here. I'll be fine, but thank you. I'll see you later then. Merry Christmas, Václav. Merry Christmas. And we can't go back to their hut because they're out here. To be honest, the depiction of her with the bow and the deer and everything, it does make her look like Artemis or Diana, as the Romans worshipped her. So I wonder if that's also part of that, because when we were reading the Historia Taciae, there was something about dedications to Diana. So I wonder if she was always Satya. It's interesting because it's like an anagram of Tassia, and then the iconography looks similar to Diana. We can't head back to the mine because it's all snowed in. We'll try and visit the Abbey. This is also snowed in, so I guess the sisters are trapped up there. I can't remember if we visited the church yet. I think we might have, like last stream, but I'm gonna pop in again anyway, just in case. And then we'll head to the inn and talk to everyone there. Father Thomas is gone. Okay, I guess everyone else is up at the inn. Well, if it isn't Magdalene, that's me. Ah, good. It's been a while since we've spoken. How are you finding tossing? Everyone has been quite kind, and no one has thrown anything at me for my music. Considering the circumstances, I'm counting that as a success. I have to admit, I was quite upset that I had missed my opportunity to sing at the Meistersinger competition. He practiced so much for it. Yes, it's hard not to view the... It's not hard to view the last year... It's hard not to view the last year as a waste. You can try again next Christmas, can't you? Of course. Though the older I get, the less comfort I take in the possibilities of the future. Missed opportunities sting more with each passing year. This dude has to be, like, in his 20s. And he's talking like he's in his 40s. Minimum. Well, you have an audience here. People of Tossing. And perform for them I will. I love performing for people wherever I go. When I sing for people, I want to move them. I want to see it on their faces. It's only in that moment that I can connect with them. That's the only truth I know. Meistersinger judges will rate me as they will, but that's not why I want to perform for them. I want to move the masters the way they moved me. Does that make sense? I suppose I make art for my own satisfaction. But certainly if travelers didn't enjoy the art your father prints, they wouldn't buy it. I suppose that's true. Consciously or unconsciously, we're all shaped by those who came before and those who surround us. Heh, I'm sorry. Just feeling a bit melancholy, I suppose. It's the long nights. I suppose you're right, all that darkness. Perhaps the Christmas feast will lift my spirits. Will I see you there? Absolutely. Almost everyone in town should be there. Then I look forward to it. Until then. Hello, Magdalene. Hello again, Casimir. How have your performances gone? Well, people like our music. Are you looking forward to the Christmas feast? Yes. Alexander is upset about missing the competition, but it will be nice to perform for a large crowd. I'm sure everyone will love it. It's not often we get musicians of your skill in tossing. So, Voislav is here, which is good, so we can talk to him. Hello, Magdalene. Hello, Hans. It's interesting, we always get like a little cutscene when we talk to him, even though he just says hello and we say hi back. Hello, Magdalene. Hello, Magdalene. How's the weather? We've been prepping for the feast in here all day. Colder than usual. I'm glad to be indoors now. It's been colder than I remember it being for decades. At least we're in here where we can keep our fingers warm. You better keep your fingers out of my dough, Master Bauer. I didn't do anything. You've snuck your little fingers into my cookie dough 3 times today. Do it again, and I'll wrap your knuckles with the back of my spoon. Don't anger Mistress Matilda, Simon. Yes, sir. Sorry, Mistress Matilda. We need enough dough to make cookies for the entire town. We can't be eating it all. Anyway, what did you come in for, Magdalene? I was hoping you could tell me what you remember of the revolt. I was too young to remember much of it. No one ever seems to talk about it, and Mistress Matilda and Master Voislav, you two are the only ones left who used to live in the abbey. The only ones who stayed, anyway. Matilda and I had been friendly enough with the people in town. We put it behind us in time. You can imagine the other brothers had little reason to remain. Old Adolf made it out. I think Father Guerneau paid for him to go back to an abbey in Cornwall. I'm not sure what happened to the others, all gone in any case. But the whole thing is a sensitive subject, Magdalene. Why are you asking? I want to portray the event truthfully in the mural, so I'm trying to hear everyone's account of events. For the sake of seeing it portrayed right, I'll tell you what I remember. Wait, Magdalene. Here, come cut out cookies with me first. That way we don't fall behind while we chat. We'd be grateful for the help. Alright, Magdalene. Cut out cookies from the dough and set them aside so Simon can put them on a tray. We'll need a good number in a variety of shapes, so don't hesitate to change which cutter you use. We have to have enough for the whole town, after all. Okay. Cookie cutting minigame. We'll start with this one. Wait, what? I want to cut it. Why is it not cutting it? Do I have to rotate it slightly first? It's not working. I'm so confused. Whenever I cut it, just does the same thing as when I hit release. Help! I'm too incompetent to cut cookies. Help! The cookie cutters don't work. It's flashing red. I see, but I don't know what that means. Does it mean I'm too far? Like I don't have enough dough and it needs to be more in the center? Oh, okay. Maybe that's it. They don't want you to use all of the dough. I was trying to economize. Yeah, they don't want you to get too close. It's not enough cookies for you guys? Hello? Do I have to exit out? Like, I could have cut more if you let me get closer to the edges, but I think this is really all we can do. These look wonderful, thank you. You can make more if you want, but it looks like we have enough. I think that's good for now, if we have enough. Thanks for helping, Magdalene. We'd better keep going if we're going to have everything ready by the procession tonight. So what can we tell you, Mags? I heard the Landsknechts came into town before the revolt and warned everyone to leave the abbey alone. Could things really have been talked out, or was it too late by then? There were some people who wanted to talk. Master Mahler worked hard to keep the peace, but after Otto was killed... Oh, Andreas. A shame how he died. We at the monastery were fond of him. Dad said he was instrumental in keeping the revolt from getting out of hand. He regrets not standing by him. Yes, he was. He had a personal dinner with the abbot to try and discuss things, I believe. A pity they couldn't come to an agreement. Yes, Andreas did a lot of good for Tassing, and Kirsau too. Even if the old abbot failed to admit that. He even revealed corruption in our own midst. The old prior Ferenc had been doing witchcraft in the church. I still grieve that he died in the abbey fire. I know your father does too, Magdalene. But wasn't the revolt in general justified? Yes, I think so. We couldn't even collect in the forest without a fee. Dad kept saying we couldn't jive with higher and higher taxes. We couldn't live with higher and higher taxes. The night Otto died, the abbot was trying to excommunicate everyone for celebrating St. John's Eve. A lot of people thought the abbot killed him in revenge. Turns out it was Hannah, the innkeeper's wife. I still say she was pressured into it by the miller. Still, after Otto and Ulrich, that was too much. We burned the mill with both bastards inside. The abbot promised to help if Andreas found the person who killed Otto. All we wanted was to talk. You mean no one was supposed to burn the abbey down? Why would anyone want that? We sought justice, not murder. It was too much for Peter. Lenhart was one thing. He just killed Ulrich, but to burn the abbey. But when the Landsknechts saw the fire, they thought they had another revolt on their hands. Even Father Gernot couldn't stop them. We all fled. Brother Florian saved as many as he could, but... Yes, Sel, you're correct. Neither Ferenc nor Hannah has been confirmed in any factual way as having killed the people that we accused them of killing. So, Ferenc was proven to be a witch, so they're all correct in the way that they talk about that. But they're all very much taking Andreas's word for Hannah having killed Otto, because he investigated everything and he said that she did it. Even though she had, like, the least amount of evidence on her, it wasn't, like, a formal court, and we didn't have to, like, bring that out to bear. So they're just like, oh yeah, Andreas was correct. Peter was wrong to burn the abbey, but what the soldiers did, that was awful. Dad died protecting me, stabbed in the chest. I don't even remember what he was wearing, but I remember how dark the blood was when we found him. Almost black and sticky like treacle. Dad socked one of the soldiers in the face, but another was right there and... Magdalene, can we stop talking about this? Yes, thank you for talking to me. I'll do my best on the mural. Good luck. We'll see you at the procession later. Until then. Time to go to the commons for the Perchtenlauf. And that's all of the tasks that we have. I guess the other thing is that they killed Hannah and Lenhart. So, like, along with Andreas saying that she did it, there'd be motivation to, like, convince themselves that that was definitely true. Otherwise, you know, they just burned an innocent woman to death. So even if privately people have reservations, they probably, like, out loud, it checks out to me that everyone would be like, oh yeah, you know, she killed Otto, and that's why we did that. Lenhart, of course, was definitely proven to be responsible for Ulrich's murder because everyone watched him do it. The thing is, I don't think... Like, maybe Hannah killed him. Maybe. There was definitely another person involved, at the very least. And... I'm not convinced she did it, but I definitely don't think that Martin or Brother Guy did it. So, either all of our suspects were incorrect, or we got it right and Hannah did it. Of course, Father Thomas is involved no matter what. There's ill Peter clapping his hands. Christ, it's too damn cold. You shut your mouth, boy. We've done this festival every year. You won't die standing here for 5 minutes. Oh, good, you made it, Magda. I was getting worried you would miss the procession. I wouldn't miss the Perchtenlauf for the world. The costumes are just too wonderful to miss, aren't they? I remember the masks scared me when I was little. Shh, it's starting. Oh, Artemis looks so lovely. I'd love to be the bright saint one year, leading all the demons into the woods. Really going in on them kids, trying to scare them. But even though Andreas is shy, he didn't really seem scared by it either. It's definitely gonna be Father Thomas. That's the only type of boys that'll follow you, Artemis. Haha. Apollo, stop that. Sorry, Mom. Christina, see the Perchten? Named after Perchta. So they're like devils. I love how that's definitely supposed to be Perchta, but they've just, like, rewritten it to be a saint. So scary. I don't like it. But you're smiling, little Andreas. You've got the, like, Lenny face expression. Shh, Andreas, you're alright. They're only costumes. Big masks that our neighbors are wearing, remember? Ugh, it's so cold. Magdalene, would you want to be the bright saint or one of the Perchten? Oh, a Perchten. They're so spooky. I think the masks would get stuffy, but it would be fun to take any part. You'll get your chance, don't worry. Passing's done the Perkton Lauf as long as I can remember. Everyone in town's been a part of the procession before. Well, except for you young ones yet. I wish Dad could be here. He'll see next year, surely. You can go home and describe it all to him. As beautiful as ever. As goddamn long as ever. Well, at least we're going to eat after this. Oh, hey, Mags. Magda, whatever. Mags. You made it. I was worried for a minute you'd skip out on the fun. Merry Christmas, Mags. Merry Christmas, Ertz. I'm gonna be nice because it's Christmas. Look, Baltus made a special batch of beer, and I heard you made cookies too. Alexander and Kaz look like they're gonna play something too. Did you forget Casimir's name, or are you giving everyone nicknames tonight? That's a secret, Mags. Come on, let's go get some food. I have used some of the mean options, especially to Werner. So maybe that's why he didn't want to help us with our Latin, but he's a dickhead, so I didn't feel bad about being a dickhead back. Ahem. Hey! Everyone listen up. Jorg would like to speak. Yes. Thank you, Veronica. On behalf of the town council, I wanted to thank everyone for coming tonight. God, this could take a while. I can sneak us both another drink, Mags. How about it? Ertz, listen to your uncle. Eh? What's that? This year has been tough on all of us. We've had more snowfall than anyone can remember, and the early frost gave us a small harvest. Folk haven't come through the pass as often. Nico, you've been short of customers, and we've all missed the trade. Alexander and Casimir, you've been kept from your journey. Gnatsiu, the snow has kept you from returning home. And I know we've all felt the lack of Klaus in town as he's been bedridden these past few months. And yet the Lord has blessed us with each other, cheerful guests and good company. Cheers. Amen. Thanks be to God. God bless. Even though this season has been rough, God knows we still have a lot to celebrate this Christmas. Endris, you've made tools we couldn't have gone without. Just practicing my trade. Dr. Stoltz, you've kept us all in good humors. A proof of my experience, Jorg, in such cruel weather. Dude, you've been wasted, like passed out on the ground, every other day for the past few months, while my dad is, like, dying. So, I don't know. I thought this was from the town council, not to it. It's Werner. He can't go a day without someone puffing him up. Magdalene, you've painted the mural for us. Thank you all for entrusting me with this task. I've done my best to honor Tassing's history. Alexander and Casimir, you've spread good cheer in the early winter nights. Our pleasure, truly. And especially tonight, I think, we should thank Baltus for making such a wonderful beer for us all to enjoy. Huzzah! Hooray for Baltus! Hear, hear! God bless. No, no, please. Natsu helped tremendously. It's thanks to him, really. Ah, well, grazie, grazie. And thanks to our Lord, who has so graciously provided for this feast. Lord protect him, yeah. Thanks to the man's deep pockets. Casimir and I shall play later in the evening, so please come to us with songs if you have one in mind. Sing the shepherd's mistress. Let's have a dance. Well, that's it, everyone. If I may, Jorg, I'd like to bless this great feast our Lord has provided for us. Of course, Father. Today, we have come together to celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Just as our Lord has provided for us with this meal, so too did Christ provide us with the bread of life. So please join with me in prayer. Bless us, O Lord, in these thy gifts, which we are about to receive. Through Christ our Lord. Amen. Everyone says amen. Amen. Now please, everyone, I know Baltus made a fine beer, but remember that temperance is a virtue. Celebrate the Christ child as though his manger were here with us. Squint quizzically. Merry Christmas, everyone. Finally, let's eat. Okay, now we can talk to everyone at Christmas. I think perhaps we'll start up here. Happy Christmas, Magdalene. Magdalene, dear. Merry Christmas, Magda. God bless. Merry Christmas, everyone. How are you enjoying the feast? Utterly delightful. A hearty meal, a mug of Baltus's latest brew, everything a soul could wish for. It's everything your ample belly could wish for. I am as God made me in his infinite wisdom. I can see you're all in a great mood. Impossible not to be when I look at all families gathered here tonight. The laughter of children running around, the love that brings the community together. We're blessed. It's certainly better than all the arguing. As long as you have moments such as this to realize that we matter to each other. Well said, darling. To the four of us. The four? Excuse me. There's 5 people up here. Bruh. I don't have a drink to toast with. Then toast with your heart. I'm so happy I married you, Andres. The day I was inspired to come find you in Innsbruck was the most important day in my life. Ah, love at long last. We know the feeling, don't we, Voislav? The path before us was filled with thorns and thistles, but we endured. Make sure to prepare for that, Magdalene. There will always be some thorns on the path. I'm literally the 5th wheel right now. I'll do what I can. You'll do fine. You're strong and stubborn, just like your mother. I hope so. Well, I'll let you continue with the celebrations. Stay safe, dear. Make most of this night. You've earned it. Bless you, Magdalene. Enjoy the feast. God bless you. That's rude as hell. Werner? What? Merry Christmas, Werner. What's merry about it? Are you still on a raving crusade against God? What is that supposed to mean? You don't remember your diatribe? Last month in this very inn. See, I've told you before, Werner. Did I ask you, Balthazar? No, no, be merry, my friends. Drink and be merry. Finally, someone with some sense. So they are fighting. It is a gay breakup. You two have been fighting for years. Isn't right now the perfect time to resolve your disagreements? No. I fear that ship may have sailed a while ago, Magdalene. In more ways than one, if you know what I mean. So you two sit together at the same table, being angry and not talking to each other? I'm no soothsayer, but to me it looks like you want to be friends, but are too stubborn to get over yourselves. Haha, she's sharp, this one. Don't take her side, Natsu. I'm sorry, but if she is right, she is right. Ugh, I refuse to get myself roped into this foolishness. The fools here are still you two. You are becoming quite tiresome with this, Magdalene. Right, Baltus? Yes, quite so. Good enough. I'll leave you to it and go enjoy the feast. Yes, please, release our aging souls from your torment. Perhaps a dance later, why not? Till later, gentlemen. I'm gonna steal Baltus's boyfriend, and then they can be together again, and Werner will stop drinking on the job. Magdalene, you finally came over to say hello. Hello again, Ernst. Hello, Magdalene. Happy Christmas, Ava, Till. Magdalene, how good to see you. How was the mural coming along in the Rathaus? Almost finished with it, I hear. That's right. The last I heard about it, you were still working on the middle section. The history of the saints, right? Yes, Mother Francesca was kind enough to invite me into the convent so I could use the cloister as a reference. I'm sure the interior of the convent is beautiful. The cloister was built in 1234, if I recall correctly. The Lord Kearsall was a generous patron to the Benedictines. It's nice to see the poor Clares taking care of the place. This is an interesting pickup. Like whether we're remembering the inscription that we saw, but I wonder if Till is just remembering the story incorrectly or if he knows something we don't. But I don't want to just correct him and be like, actually, you're wrong. It was 30 years after that. If it's just like, you know what? We have a reputation for being a dick, so I'm going to say it. The chapel mural had a Latin inscription saying the convent was built in 1261. Does it? I could have sworn that I read the foundations were built earlier. Unless, if Lord Kearsall gave the Bergfried up, the brothers and sisters arrived later. Till, you're muttering to yourself again. Oh, my apologies. Anyway, Magdalene, what are you painting on the mural now? I'm working on depicting the revolt, but I think I angered Agnes when I asked her about it. That's right, you were just a few years old then. God, has it been that long? Don't worry about Agnes. She acts cranky, but she's never truly upset with anyone. It took years for Tossing to recover after that night. Thank God we've come a long way since then. Otto would be proud of what the town has accomplished. I think so too. You know, Magdalene, I think he would be especially proud of you for memorializing Tossing in the mural. He would be thrilled to think that you'd become a part of the family. Well, I haven't become a part of the family. But I'm not gonna say it out loud because we don't have that many other options. I'm honored you think so. Of course, Ertz has been charmed by you for years now, and I don't blame him. You're a beautiful young woman. Mom. We'll have to speak with Klaus, of course, but you and Ertz are a good match. stare awkwardly. Anyway, I don't mean to keep you chatting away with us older folk. Have fun and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Ava. Till. Merry Christmas, Ertz. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Mags. Merry Christmas, Magdalene. Enjoying the celebration? It's wonderful to see everyone together in such high spirits. Isn't it? Even Grandpa's enjoying himself. This winter's been difficult for his gout. The cold makes his joints seize. I told him he didn't have to come to the Perkton Lauf, but he insisted. I haven't missed one Christmas procession in my life, and I'll be goddamned if some snow stops me. Oh god, we know, old man. Anyway, like York said earlier, it's nice to have a night of good company and cheer. Thank you for mentioning my father in your speech, York. He'll be glad to know he was missed. You're welcome, Magdalene. Klaus is a good man, and we all miss him as a part of the community. To be honest, I didn't expect to make a speech tonight. I just thought about what happened in town this year. Really? Werner kept insisting that someone make a speech, so... Paul said that I was the most charismatic of anyone on the council. He said that? Well, he said that I would make the least amount of people angry over it. Baltus said it was my charisma. Oh dear. To be honest, I never thought I'd be someone people in Tossing listen to. But you've always been a part of the town council. We didn't always have a council, though. It wasn't until the night of the revolt, really, that I felt like I could do things on my own. Be my own man. I loved my father, but what he did, I thought it had doomed the town. A lot of terrible things happened all at once. No one can shoulder all the blame themselves. No, but my dad chose violence. He chose to destroy the Abbey. I always went along with him because he was my dad. He had to be right. That night was the first time I thought any different. I learned that night that you can fight for something right and still choose the wrong way to do it. And I swore that I would never let that happen again. The revolt broke down everything I thought I knew about Tossing, about myself, but it made a lot of things better for Tossing, and that makes me hopeful. What do you mean? Well, our new lord is strict, but he made a deal with us. The council lets us govern ourselves. As much as I was grumbling earlier today, Jorg is right. Life changed in Tossing, and even though the first few years were hard, we're better for it now. No abbot looking down on us, making stupid laws as he sees fit. Our lord lives days away. As long as we pay our taxes, we're left alone. It's a better life for Artemis and Apollo than we had. Don't you talk ill of my son, boy. He gave you everything he had. God rest his soul. I know, Grandpa. But that's the whole point, isn't it? Without the revolt, you wouldn't have been able to give the twins better life. In some horrible way, I guess that's right. God grant us the courage to live with our actions. I've done the best I can to do right by the town and Dad. You're his son. You've done him proud, boy. Thanks, Grandpa. Anyway, I'm going for another pint. Anyone else? Yes, yes. Bring a pitcher. You've had enough, Grandpa. Your humors might become unbalanced. Another for me, Jorg. Magdalene? I'll get myself another later, thanks. Alright, we'll see you later then, Magdalene. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hello, Magdalene. Happy Christmas to you. Good evening, Magdalene. Merry Christmas, you two. Ulrika, Andreas, say hello to Mistress Druckerin. Hi. Hi. Oh, Andreas, don't be shy. You know Mistress Magdalene. Sorry, Magdalene, he's still a bit quiet. Hello, Ulrika. Hello, Andreas. How did you like your speech, Magdalene? I didn't. It's a good reminder of everything we still have. We all needed to hear it. For Paul putting him up to it at the last moment, it was well done. Well, Werner insisted someone on the council make a speech. I didn't particularly want it to be me. But Jörg did it justice. You can always count on him to speak from the heart, especially a few drinks in. Truthfully, I think much of the town needed some encouragement tonight. Tossing hasn't had such a hard season since the revolt. Yes, I'm sorry, it's Christmas. We shouldn't speak of such sad times. Let's toast to better days then. Cheers to that. Although, there is an old Latin proverb my dad used to say to me. Ignis aurum proit, miseria fortis viros. Fire is the test of gold, misery is the proof of strong men. Yes, precisely. There's no question the revolt left Tossing worse off, but seeing the town now gives me hope. You're an artist, Magdalene. I think you can see it too. I think I do. Things seem brighter for Tossing somehow. Yes, those miserable days gave us the resilience we needed to push ahead, to make things better. The next generation, like you or Yuta in the twins, we saw what it was like to fight for ourselves. To stand up to tyranny, even at the cost of losing our homes and lives. To be honest, most nights I'm grateful for the revolt. Really? Oh yes, you wouldn't remember, but life was already terrible before that night. The revolt burned away the dead wood that had rotted Tassing for decades. God knows my father was an evil man. His death released me from years of fear. The revolt gave me the courage to face him, to become better than him. I think something of the same happened when the Abbey was destroyed. If things had gone on as they always did, well, I doubt we'd be having such a Christmas feast tonight. The cost was high, but it resulted in just as much joy as grief. I hadn't thought about it that way. Because of the revolt, I could marry Paul, and we can supply grain to peasants at a fair price. Our children will grow up without the fear that ruled over my life as I got older. No moment in life is entirely good or bad, Magdalene. What matters more is how we choose to see it. It's a wonderful way to look at it, Anna. Thank you. Oh, well, it's something I learned from one of Father Thomas's sermons. I took it to heart when my father died. Don't forget to take some time to have fun tonight, alright? Mommy, I want another cookie. Shh, don't yell, sweetheart. Excuse us, Magdalene. It seems we have cookies to fetch. Of course. Merry Christmas to all of you. Merry Christmas, Magdalene. Ah, Mistress Magdalene. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Alexander. Merry Christmas, Casimir. Enjoying the night? Very much so. The cookies especially. I haven't had such a wonderful gingerbread in ages. We were just setting up to perform. Did you have a particular song in mind you want us to play? Between the two of us, we know all the Christmas songs between here and Spain. How about From Heaven Above to Earth I Come? The one written by Martin Luther. I don't oppose, but are you sure we ought to? Maybe you're right. I'll pick something else. I always like Good Christian Men Rejoice. A folk tune, one of Casimir's favorites. Once Kaz and I play what we've prepared, we'll be sure to play that one. Merry Christmas, everyone! Since it is Christmas, Casimir and I wanted to share a special song with all of you, in the spirit of giving. Please enjoy.
In dulce jubilo, nun singet und seid froh, unsers Herzens Wonne liegt in Praesepio, und leuchtet als die Sonne, Matris in Gremio, Alpha es et O, Alpha es et O. Durch alle deine Güte, o Princeps Gloriae, trae me poste, trae me poste.
Yay! I like Simon sloshing his beer back and forth. Thank you, truly. Please, return to your drinks. We'll be playing all night. Happy Christmas. Yeah, I know that one, although I don't know the German lyrics. But it was one we did when I was in high school, and I used to be in a choir. Big York. Hey, Magdalene. Sorry to bother you during the feast. Oh, hello, York. Did you need something? Well, all the chatter around the revolt earlier had me thinking. You're nearly done with the mural, aren't you? The last time you talked with the council, you said you were working on the final portion, painting the revolt. I don't mean to nag during the feast, though. That's Veronica's job. I should have it done soon. I've been listening to people around town talk about the revolt, so I can get a better idea of how to paint it. Everyone has a different idea of how that night happened. But I think I finally settled on how I want to depict it. Yeah? I think this is, traumatic, so maybe not that. But I think maybe this one. If it were me, I think the political option would be, like, depicting the people getting together and then, like, the formation of the town council from that, and then you could have the sort of continuity of, like, the people rising up during the revolt leading to the, like, self-governance aspect of it. But I think this is the best option out of what we have. Like, I think this one's traumatic. This one is, like, deeply controversial in a way that the Lord would probably be upset, and a lot of the peasants would probably be upset as well in the townsfolk. So I want to honor what the peasants stood for. I'll show Otto giving a speech and the soldiers in the distance. That's a good perspective. It shows what happened without being too detailed about, well, what happened. I'm sure everyone will love it. Klaus would be proud of the design you've picked. Ava will like that especially. Anyway, I'll get out of your way. You've got better things to do. I think Ertz was looking for you too. I think what's good about this is that it like honors someone in particular as well, rather than like burning down the abbey, which isn't something that most people wanted to happen. He always is. I think I'll actually go home for the night. I've had enough of Ertz's flirting, and I should check in on my dad. Tell him hello from all of us, alright? I will. Good night, York. Good night, Magdalene. Uh-oh. We're alone. On Christmas. We're gonna get killed. We'll go through the mill. Oh no. We're still coming the wrong way. God bless you and Merry Christmas, Magdalene. Oh. Merry Christmas, Sister Amelie. Were we bothering you with the noise next door? No, not at all. Hearing people celebrating Christ's birth gives me great joy. Christmas should be a heartening time of year for us all. I enjoyed seeing everyone feeling better about the future, especially after all Tassing has endured. The people here have suffered greatly, but we must always find hope in the midst of despair. It is fitting to celebrate Christ's birth on days with so little light and warmth. People need Christmas in the depth of winter to remind them that spring will return, and we will all have a chance to live again. Magdalene, who's that? Oh, it's the old man that's been following us around. Someone who's been following me. Please excuse me, Sister Amelie. I need to check on my father. Of course. God bless you. Thank you, sister. I need to, like, scream to everyone. Oh god, the door's open. Someone here? Dad? This guy's killing our dad on Christmas? That's fucked. Still as messy as ever. Oh, thank God. Magdalene, is that you? What's the matter? So it didn't look like Father Thomas that was lurking outside. Like, sure, Father Thomas could wear a beard, like a fake beard, but the guy, like, didn't appear to be the same shape. So I don't know. Someone was standing near the house. The door was open. I was afraid something might have happened to you. I'm sorry, I didn't hear anything. I've been asleep most of the day. Most of the evening, too. I'm worried about you, Magdalene. You're worried about me. You're working too hard. I know taking care of me takes up so much of your time. And I know how hard you've been working on the mural. I know how important it is to you. For you to work this hard, it has to be important to you. It is important to me. I'm not going to make it, Magdalene. I know. It's alright. This is just life. Glad I'm going before you, even if it's sooner than either of us would like. I've already seen too much death in my time. I just wanted to show you what I could do. I wanted you to be proud of me. I have been. Every day of your life. You've never needed to prove anything to me. I wish I could stay to see the mural when you finish it, but I don't need to. I know it will be more beautiful than anything these old hands have ever made. Don't say that. It's true, though. I mean, I got along all right. But I always knew you would surpass me before long. You can already see things that I never could. See things and make them real. I'm trying. You're doing it. Whether I die tonight, or tomorrow, or the next day, I'm not going to be here much longer. One morning you're going to wake up, and you'll have to do things for yourself. Love things for yourself, and you'll have to share it with the world. Love is the only reason to do anything in this life. Oh, all this talking. Too much. Could you bring me something to eat? Of course, Dad. You haven't eaten all day. And I missed the Christmas feast, too. I can't believe no one brought me a cookie. I'll go get some soup. We're gonna go down and get murdered. Oh god. Oh god. Who's killing our dad? Klaus. I'm sorry, Klaus. About everything. You're here. Wait, what? Is this Andreas? Oh my god. Andreas survived? I thought I could stop all of this. I've been trying to figure it out this whole time. After the fire, it's all I could think about. That and them. They've never left me. They're all still there, all in the dance of death. The Baron, Piero, Ferenc, Hanna, Peter, Otto, Casper, August, and now you. Dad? Oh god, it's you! Who are you? What are you doing to my father? Magdalene, it's alright. It's alright. I'm sorry. I've forgotten my manners after all these years. And you've likely forgotten my face, or what it once was. Oh god, it isn't Andreas. Magdalene, this is Andreas Mahler. Back from the dead. Okay, so, you know, he's not killing our dad, and he's not the guy. So I feel more confident that my Father Thomas guess is still correct. But also, how did he live? Like, we saw him up in the top floor of the library. Did he, like, jump out? It looks like he has burns on his hands. The earliest memory I have is of you running into a burning library. I'm sorry. I don't understand. No one could have survived that. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I did. I don't understand, Andreas. Where have you been all these years? Hiding from the world. In the ruins, mostly. Sometimes in the woods when it was warm. Stealing bread from Gret. Stealing books from you. Oh, so I wasn't going crazy. It's the only thing that's kept my mind from forgetting what words are. Wait, how did you survive the fire? With some difficulty. I grabbed as many books as I could, and I placed them in the scriptorium. When the smoke got too thick, I started to black out. The next thing I remember was Casper pulling me into the crypt. Your apprentice, the boy, you sent him back to Salzburg. Wait, so did Casper save our life and then he died? He got shot? He didn't leave. He waited in the woods and watched what was happening. When he saw me in the window of the library, he ran through the crypt to save me. And he did. But he saw that I was trying to save the books and he went back in. I couldn't stop him. I was barely conscious. He never came back out, Klaus. When I woke up, everyone was dead or gone. See, it was already stupid for Andreas to run back in and get more books. And then Casper doing the same thing just because we were nice to him and we influenced him. Like, his life wasn't worth those extra books. That's terrible. We were a terrible influence on that kid. God. Yeah, that's the question. If we convinced Casper to leave, like, would Andreas have just perished in the fire? And we would have Casper here instead, maybe? I don't know. Many things are in flux. When I woke up, everyone was dead or gone. I couldn't face any of you. I couldn't go back to Sabine. That empty house. So I hid. Why have you been following me? I thought you were trying to kill me. What happened at the mine was an accident. I just stepped too close to the edge. I'm sorry. I was afraid to talk to you. Afraid to talk to anyone. Well, dude, you at least could have, like, helped us when we might have been killed by that man for finding a pig in the woods. Did you leave us those notes? The ones with the purple writing? Ah. No. Those were written by a different, occult hand. One that does not want you to finish your mural. One that has killed and may kill again to stop you from telling Tassing's history. Tassing's history? Why? Because Tassing's real history is at odds with the story we've all been told. It's been covered, bit by bit, layer by layer, until it could no longer be seen. But it's still here. It's always been here, hidden beneath our feet. And it's still protected, haunted by the specter of death that has hung over this place for generations. The thread puller. Thread puller? Beneath our feet? What are you talking about? The person who attacked your father is the same person who manipulated someone into killing Otto Zimmermann. And Lorenz Rothvogel. Yes, and they travel through the Roman aqueduct that connects Tassing and Kirsau. It's a network of tunnels I've become quite familiar with. And I've seen the ghost that haunts them, that can squeeze through the tiniest opening. I've seen it bend itself in half to reach places I could never follow. I've traveled along every inch of the aqueduct in the old city, but there's one place I've never found. The lair where the thread puller retreats to. The ancient Roman temple that it is determined to hide from the view. The Mithraeum. You found it? No, but I mapped out a darkness between the collapsed tunnels. And I believe I know how to get there. Come with me. I'll show you. This is crazy. So I was wondering if that little tunnel that we sent Casper down, where he was like, it feels odd, like it feels old down here. Like, I wonder if that was the Mithraeum. Dad? He's a good man, Magdalene. You'll be safe with him. Will you be alright? Yes, I'll be fine. Could we at least get him some more soup before we leave? Jesus. Protect my daughter, Andreas.
with my life, Klaus. I promise.
Alright, let's find the Mithraeum. The rot house? What are we doing here?
When the maid dug the foundation, they found Roman ruins that had been buried over time.
Yeah, I also think that our dad will be dead before we see him again. It's all because we didn't give him soup.
Lucky never wasted stone, so he used the Roman wall as one of the cellars. There's a way inside to the hidden place.
Are you alright?
Yes?
Alright. Into the Rotskeller. My god. Andreas. Okay. Alright, that wall is different. Does that mean this is the place?
No. It's two-sided. New and old. This was above ground once. It carried water. Look.
Alright, I think I can make it out. Cornelius goes to the bath today and completes the 6th step in the Mithraeum.
Yes, you see.
No, I most certainly do not see, Andreas.
Well, here.
Bruh, Andreas is crazy. He's just been living out in the Abbey ruins for 18 years without talking to anyone. A warning would be nice.
Oh, sorry. I'm not used to being around people. This is the aqueduct.
Yes? And?
It will take us to the baths, then to the Mithraeum.
Alright.
After you, please.
There's the bathhouse. This part of the tunnel has collapsed. We're not getting to the Mithraeum this way.
I think. Yes. Casper and I found a collapsed section of the aqueduct near town. He explored it, but couldn't describe what he found in the dark. I shouldn't have let him go. I should have taken more care with him.
No, you actually should have been a dick to him. And then he would have lived. Whenever you're done feeling guilty, we can get on with this.
Yes, of course. Decoration. These must have been the baths.
It doesn't look like there's a way through.
Silt. All the floods kept carrying it down here. Hundreds of years of floods. What if we can't get through? What if it's buried forever?
It's too early to get this discouraged. Let's keep looking. More stairs down. Would something be below the baths?
A hypocaust. They use warm air to heat the rooms above. Roman colonies in the north often had them.
Let's hope those haven't filled with silt as well. This is spooky. Anyone could hide down here. Do you know where we're going? These pillars just kind of go on in all directions. Andreas, could you look that way? I think I'm going to try exploring ahead.
Of course.
Oh, so we're Andreas now. Oh shit. That makes me worried that something's gonna happen to Magdalene. How could you abandon your work, Andreas? I thought you were a true artist, a master of your craft, but all you created was misery. The only thing more pitiful than watching you work in that scriptorium was your love of that dying art. I thought you understood what I was forced to do. Your callousness killed us all. We're now, the room is shaking, which makes me concerned. I swear I just saw blood drip from the ceiling. Oh my god, she's gone! She's gone. God damn. We failed Klaus. We failed everyone. Master, why did you send me back into the flames? Oh my god. No! No, this isn't right! I can't be here right now. How did I get here? Who the fuck is that? Andreas. You're still here. Yes, for a little longer. I thought I'd gone mad. Not yet. Not entirely. But you have been on this road for a long, long time. You must leave this place forever, Andreas. You must abandon it for good. But how? What can I do? I don't even know how I got here. This was once a place of refuge for you, Andreas. But it has become a prison. A prison you constructed to protect yourself. From what? From pain? From risk? From life itself. I can't stay here. I have to help Magdalene. How do I get out? Andreas, you are the architect. I will help you as best I can, but you are the only one who can answer that. No, we're in the labyrinth. Hello, Andreas. We haven't talked in so long. Why? You reminded me of August. Remind me. It wasn't all bad, Andreas. We lost him, but we had 4 years together. They were happy years, weren't they? It's hard to remember. This great black pain blots out all of the joy. I know. It was hard for both of us. I don't blame you for anything. And you should stop blaming yourself. It may be too late for us, but it's not too late for you, Andreas. It's not too late for Magdalene. Yes, Magdalene. I have to help her. You can, Andreas, but you have to leave this place behind for good. I know. I can. I will. You will. Thank you, Sabine. Will I ever see you again? Not in this place. But maybe someday, in a better place. In a better dream. Or you could go home and, like, see your wife who's thought you were dead for 18 years. I mean, she's probably better off, to be honest. So maybe we won't do that, but you didn't have to go live in the woods for that long. I guess the concern is then she wouldn't, like, you'd have to pay the debts. Master Andreas! Oh, Casper. It's really you. It's so good to see you again, Master. How can you say that? You died because of me. I just wanted to help you, Master Andreas. You couldn't think straight. You shouldn't blame yourself anymore. I let my family down. I let you down. I couldn't stop Peter, couldn't save Tossing. I couldn't even save more than a couple armfuls of books. You did what you could, Master. Everyone knows you did. And that's all any of us can do. All right, Casper. Thank you. Thank you for everything you taught me. Wait, what happened? This was the way out. Before I started talking to Casper, I know this was the way out. Your mind is fighting itself, Andreas. It remembers the pain of life. It's trying to protect you from it. Beatrice? Yes? I thought you were gone. You brought me back. Oh. So, what do I do now? Keep going. Been so many nights, so many years without seeing your face. I thought I had forgotten it. I knew you were still here, though, quietly waiting for me. I can't change the past, can't cover it up. It's always there under the surface, no matter how I try to bury it. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. It's alright. What? It's alright, Daddy. It is? You don't have to hide here anymore. But what about you, and Casper, and your mother? We're not really here. There are people who need you. It's so hard to let you go. I know, Daddy. But you have to. I know. You're right. Thank you. I love you, Daddy. I love you too. Good night, August. Good night. Good night, I mean. They shifted again. The walls. It's still trying to protect you. No. It's not? No, I mean, no, I don't have to do this. This is my mind, my maze, and I'm leaving. Good. But this next part might be confusing. Oh, it's, Mary, Lady of the Labyrinth. And then this is our, like, mind labyrinth. What? I don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Why are you holding the maze? Two things are merging in your mind. You and... There were layers to everything, even our memories. Over time, the foundations become buried. We can no longer recall how we got here. No longer recall what came before. What came before? Our Lady, watching over the labyrinth as I watch over you. And even this has roots that reach deep into the past. There was not always a lady to watch over the labyrinth, but there was a labyrinth. What? Sister Amelie and Mars? What? So this kind of looks like the Mithraeum. This sequence is super trippy, and I love, like, the morphing of Andreas's mind palace as he's become like a broken person. And this is super cool. I love that they have like the vivid paints. That this looks like a bull, and then this is like a Phrygian cap, and then I don't know, Exuperamus. Deum is like the gods, belly is war, so the gods of war, and Arvorum, which I'm not sure what that is. It could be like love, it could be like labor, it could be something else entirely. My Latin is very, very bad, like I've mentioned before. This is Mars the Father, so maybe an aspect of Mars, the god of war, like as the father. And then we have like the labyrinths. What? I don't understand. Sister Amelie, is this real? Am I still in my mind? You are here with me. We are here in spirit. Are we still in the ruins? We are in the tabernacle, the heart of the labyrinth. Your spirit was wandering, and the Lord brought you here. But I don't understand. How can you leave your cell? I have not. We are only here in spirit, Andreas. Is this real? Am I finally experiencing that which I've only read about in the testimony of mystics? I told you long ago that reading cannot communicate a spiritual experience. But yes, this is real, and you need not be afraid. Have faith. If you are here with me, it is the Lord's will. Magdalene's here too. We're all in the Mind Palace. Andreas? Sister Amelie? What are you doing here, sister? This is the center of the labyrinth, the tabernacle. It is where the Lord sends my spirit to do his will. He has also guided your spirits here. There must be a purpose to it. Sister, we're looking for the Mithraeum. Is this it? Mithraeum? No. This is the tabernacle. Not a place of wood and stone, but a place of spirit. The Lord has called me to this place for many years. He has always made his will known to me. Soon he will make it known to you. Sister, how does your spirit come to this place? Through the door between life and death. When my spirit hears the call, it descends through my grave. Here the Lord tells me what messages I must bear, and to whom. So maybe she physically is here? Maybe her, like, grave leads down into here, and she thinks that it's, like, a mind palace, and Andreas also thinks that it's a mind palace, and Magdalene is the only one that's like, no, I literally just walked here. How? It was almost impossible for us to reach this place. I used to think my affliction, my pain, was a curse. I know now that it was a gift from God. A gift that allows me to bend my body as I bend my soul to his will. So she's like hyper mobile. She has EDS or something, and she can like contort herself down into the passageway where she receives the visions from God. Interesting. There is no place in Tassing or Kiersal he cannot reach through me. So she's the one that Andreas was talking about, like, disappearing down passages. Wait. I thought I had given up the pen forever. until the visions returned. Oh, it's her. But I thought she couldn't read. They told us forever ago that she couldn't read. I was tricked. No! When fire took my abbey, I couldn't save my sisters. Not one. All I could grab was a single book and a bolt of purple ink cloth. I couldn't understand why God had spared me alone. But he showed me. God had a higher purpose for me, for my hand. Father Thomas explained it to me. He makes everything clear. So Father Thomas is involved, and he's coerced her into leaving these messages based on the stuff that he knows. He tells me what I must do, what the Lord wills me to do. It was you. This whole time, you wrote the notes. I found one by my dad when he was attacked. Sister Amelie, you pushed those people into committing murder. What? No, that can't be true. The Lord would not use me for such a purpose, but Father Thomas would. But that's what happened, sister. You wrote those notes, and people were murdered because of them. No, I wouldn't. He wouldn't. There was nothing in his messages about murder. No. I am not here. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. Ah! There he is. The killer. Sister Amelie, shh, it's all right. Father Thomas, how did you get down here? Tossing is an old place. It's buried many ancient roads and tunnels over the centuries. People walk above the hidden ways every day without even knowing it. Though in truth, it was Sister Amelie who rediscovered them first and found this place. Father Thomas, did you? In other circumstances, I would be overjoyed to see you, Andreas. Truth, I am still happy you are alive. Thank God. But I think the occasion of this reunion leaves little to rejoice about. You! I knew it. I knew it was him! You and Sister Amelie were behind all the murders? No, she had no part in this. But the notes, she wrote them. She did, but she did not understand their purpose. I guided her. I told her what to write. You abused her love and her trust for your own purposes. He who wishes to follow love's way must regard neither cost nor shame, nor pain. He must stand to everything, even her most terrible commands. I am ashamed to admit it, but yes, I did. To what end? What was the point of all this? Look around you. What do you see? Roman ruins? Look closer. It looks like the statue of St. Moritz from the meadow. In the images of St. Satya from the shrine. So it wasn't Mauritius, it was Mars. That was the statue. And that's the head of St. Moritz, what Otto was talking about when he said that he saw, that he found the head of St. Moritz. He's talking about this. And it was a statue of Mars. I don't understand. It's St. Moritz and St. Satya, and Mars and Diana. The saints are the gods? When the Romans left tossing, their buildings, their temples, their statues remained. Christians settled here centuries later. They found time-worn fragments of that imperial grasp. The statue of Mars Pater that once watched over the Roman fields stood there still, headless and nameless. The settlers believed it was St. Moritz, who was already a legend where they had come from. They found the shrines to Satya and Not understanding she was an aspect of Diana, he believed she was another local saint. So this is Diana Satya, which I was saying their iconography looked similar. So this is an aspect of Diana that was a nymph, perhaps. So the people turned them into saints. Sanctity and sainthood exists outside of what people believe, Magdalene. People cannot turn someone into a saint any more than they can unmake the divinity of Christ. But they knew of the saints and learned local legends of the region and applied them to the figures they found here. No one knew they were Roman gods because there was no account of what the Romans did and left here, except for Historia Taciae. But Historia Taciae was not known then. Perhaps it had not even been written then. Who knows how long that book had been lost for before it made its way to Father Matthias. And you killed him for it. Yes, with poison. No one suspected. I suspected, Father Thomas. I fucking knew it. Well, to be fair, I suspected one of, the prior might have assassinated Father Matthias with poison. But of course it was you. You were behind everything all along. He died of poison, and no one suspected. It must have been quite subtle. His death was unexpected, but I was the only person he confided in about what he had read in Historia Taciae. When Father Matthias learned that there was no evidence that St. Moritz had ever come to Tassing, that the shrine to him in the meadow was a statue of Mars that the Romans had erected hundreds of years ago, that St. Satya was the Roman goddess Diana, he resolved to deal with it. And you resolved to deal with him. This is what I was saying, it's all connected, and in Historia Taciae, it has the truth, it talks about Mauritius, and that St. Moritz, never came here. And that was the scandalous secret that they were all talking about. Andreas, our people believe in St. Moritz. They believe in the miracles God has worked through his hand. And they believe in the legend of St. Satya, that she helped Moritz and watches over Tassing still. And that was worth killing the abbot. I believed it was then, yes. If St. Moritz never came to Tassing, what is in the reliquary? What are the pilgrims coming to see? What does it mean for the people who prayed to him, to St. Satya, and believed their prayers were answered? What does it mean for the church that has given people hope, fixed like a false star in a dark sky? If the people have reason to doubt the validity of the saints, can they doubt the church? Can they doubt the gospel, the word of God? Perhaps some would, but you've always told us that we have to accept Christ of our own free will. Yes, of course, but preserving the legends of our saints doesn't interfere with individual volition. You are preserving a lie. I preserved a lie to illuminate greater truth. God so loved the world that he gave his only Son. If you believe this, if you truly believe this, eternal life is yours. And saints have walked among us, and their relics work miracles, and they hear our prayers and answer them. And the two that protect this town were never here. They don't need to know that, Andreas. There are times when God feels so far away from us in these mountains. But a peasant in Tassing can stand in a field, look over our valley, and say, St. Moritz was here. God was with us, and he is with us still, and he will be with us always. And that is the truth, even if the legend of St. Moritz is a lie. So many people have died because of what you've done. I know this is hard to believe, but I was trying to save lives, to prevent death. But one murder didn't solve the problem, did it? because one day Baron Rothvogel rode into town with another copy of Historia Tassiae, a copy he promised to give to the abbot so Kiersau could come to terms with its past. And if Father Guerneau read its contents, he would be facing the same danger you saw in Father Matthias. In retrospect, given how Father Guerneau chose to run the abbey, my fears may have been unfounded. That sentiment didn't prevent you from doing it again. You're right, it didn't. But then why Otto? Certainly he didn't have anything to do with Historia Tassiae. He couldn't even read. But he found the head of the quote-unquote statue of St. Moritz that anyone with any Latin could tell is Mars. In the end, his murder provoked Peter and the others into destroying the abbey. I never thought that would happen. I underestimated Peter's anger and the peasants' frustration. You seem to have a difficult time reading people, Father. It appears that way, yes. I was trying to prevent Otto from showing people what he found. What he found when he was helping to dig the foundations of the Rathaus. It's the head. Come on, guys, put it together. Something from our pagan ancestors. No, not quite so old. What he found was a stone head. The missing head of the statue in the meadow. The statue at the shrine of St. Moritz. How did it wind up over there? The most likely culprits are rain, floods, and time. Black Till told me that farmers find old tools and pottery in the fields every year. Yes, and this head remained hidden for centuries. It sat in the soil until Otto found it. And he was going to show everyone that God had favored the town with his discovery. What Otto could not know is that our shrine statue was not of St. Moritz, because Otto could not read the words chiseled across the helmet, Mars Pater. Father Thomas, you could have just, broken the head if you wanted to do that. And you literally still haven't done that. You didn't have to kill him. Bruh. But the man he entrusted with this information, the town priest, could. Yes. And you told him to meet you on St. John's Eve at the Rathaus. I could not let him destroy our town's beliefs. And you had poor Sister Amelie write down what you told her were visions. Visions she couldn't remember. And deliver them in the dead of night to Guy, to Hannah, to Martin. So that one of them would murder Otto, just as someone murdered Lawrence. What about my father? I'm sorry, Magdalene. Why did you do it? It doesn't make any sense. Was it because of the mural? Yes. Klaus pursued the project with the determination of a guilty man doing penance. He kept digging and digging for answers about Tossing's past, Kiersau's past. I was afraid that sooner or later he would find out about Moritz, Satya, this place, everything. So you tried to kill him? No, I tried to scare him. First with the note, but he ignored it. I thought if I ransacked the workshop, it would scare him off. I didn't expect him to come down so quickly. It was just an accident. It wasn't an accident. You almost killed him. I know. So what are you going to do now? Kill me? Kill Magdalene? No, of course not. I have neither the means nor the will to do so. But even if I can't stop you from telling people what I've done, I can stop them from finding this place. Right, he's gonna kill all of us. He's gonna take the roof down and fucking we're all gonna die. No, Father Thomas, stop. It's too late for me, but I can still take Tossing's secrets with me. Father, you're going to kill us all. You're going to kill Amelie. Then leave and take her with you. You can tell the townsfolk what you want, but if you stay here, we'll die together. Father Thomas, this is suicide. I believe it is an act of faith, and if it is not, I am prepared to answer for it. Bruh. Well, Father, go. All the rocks are coming down. Like, we easily could have died. Bruh, Father Thomas is the worst. Are you alright? I think so. You? In truth, no. But I survived. So did she. They must have heard that at the Golden Hand. The entire church collapsing? I hope so. What are we going to tell them? What do you mean? About this. About everything. Why wouldn't we just tell them the truth? Helen, get down from there. For the same reason Father Thomas hid it. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that, like, they didn't cheap out. Like, everything connects, everything makes sense. And, like, if you're able to, like, put everything together, it's pretty clear that Father Thomas was involved early on. But I still feel like it's a satisfying, like, connection. Rather than like, oh, like I predict this all from a mile off. Like everything about the Mithraeum is still like an interesting development, and it's not like I didn't predict that Sister Amelie was involved in this way. Like I thought he was like I never liked his relationship with Sister Amelie, and thought that the power that he has over her and the influence that he has over her is suspect. But I didn't think that she was writing the notes. I thought that, like, if anything, she was having, like, her visions of the murder and, like, when they would happen would have been, like, from her sort of subconsciously putting together what Father Thomas was doing. But, like, I feel like the resolution makes sense. And, it's not, like... And it was actually just some weird guy in the woods that was doing it all along. Like, the weird guy in the woods was Andreas, which, makes some amount of sense, even if it's a crazy person's sense. Please explain your thinking. I'm just not sure it makes sense. What good will it do to tell everyone about St. Moritz and St. Satya? Maybe Father Thomas was right about that, if nothing else. Maybe it would break their faith. I think he's wrong. I think the people here have enough faith to hear the truth. You know them better than I do, especially since I've been away for so long. You came back after all this time to solve this, but it's hard to feel like we actually accomplished anything. Are we any better off than we were this morning? Father Thomas won't be able to hurt anyone else. Maybe he never would have. Well, he tried to kill us. I think you're right. We should tell them. About the saints, the Romans, all of it. I hate that doing the right thing feels so awful. I'm sorry. I am too, but I still think it's what we need to do. Then we'll tell them. Good. We should get Sister Amelie someplace warm. We can take her to my house. You'll probably have some explaining to do. A lot, I think. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad you didn't die in that fire. I am too. I think. Merry Christmas, Andreas. Merry Christmas. See, now he can meet little Andreas, and they can be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? My dad's still alive. Did he get any soup? Somebody cleaned up the soup that was on the ground, so maybe they gave him some. Oh. Magdalene, you made it back. Andreas and Sister Amelie and I all made it back. Sister Amelie? Was she in the church? I heard a terrible din and the house shook. Is everything all right? I don't think so, Dad, but it will be. Are you all right, Dad? Yes, I'm sorry. Just tired. Sit by me. Tell me what happened. It started in the rot house. Well, the Rotskeller. Andreas found an old Roman message there that pointed to the Mithraeum. Huh. So still no confirmation if the people who you accused were truly guilty. Yeah, I mean, somebody definitely killed the Baron, and we did find blood on the murder weapon, or what we claimed was the murder weapon for Ferenc, but it's not clear. We didn't get Father Thomas saying, and then Ferenc did blah blah blah. I'm not sure if Father Thomas even knows. I do think maybe he killed Otto. Like, he sent the message to Otto to meet him out there, and he left those notes for everyone else to do it. But I think if none of them showed up, like, maybe he just did it himself. Huh. But then I'm not sure who that smaller figure that ran off into the woods was when we saw them with Casper. So we went into the aqueduct. The section we found must have been closed off for centuries. We found an old Roman bathhouse. We couldn't go through, so we found our way down to a level under the baths. I think Andreas said it was a hypocaust. Andreas got separated from me. I was really afraid I'd lost him, that we both gotten lost down there. But then I heard his voice off in the distance, and I was so relieved. Dad? Are you still listening? Well, at least we got to be there with him, and he didn't die while we were out. Fucking Father Thomas. Oh, I didn't mean to kill your dad. Oh, I just wanted to scare him. Then how'd he get fucking clubbed over the head? The fuck? Jesus. How much time is passing? April 1st, I think. I know it's hard. I mean, I can only imagine how hard it is. But we will all have to do we will all do our best to make you feel welcome when you get here. It's strange to think this will probably be the last letter I send to you. So I will end it with my love. Esther. Are we moving to Prague? Magdalene? Yes? I'm sorry to disturb you, but I wanted to let you know that everything is in order. Baltus has ensured that all of the financial matters will be handled. The money will be forwarded to you via the Reichspost as soon as everything is settled. I appreciate it. Please thank him for me. Thank him for everything. Of course, Mr. Struckeren. I did not know your father well, but I know that he was well regarded by everyone who spoke of him. It seems that Tossing has lost many things in one man. I'm very sorry. Thank you. Good fortune to you. There's a painting of our dad and mom and brother, all dead now. Magdalene, I can't believe you're really leaving. I'll miss you all dearly. The boys will miss you even more. Yours, at least. Oh, don't tease him. I think he's really having a hard time of it, despite appearances. I'll go easy on him. That's kind of you. I appreciate it. Safe travels, and God bless you. Are you sure you have everything you need, Magdalene? I think so, thank you. I made you something to take with you on the road. It's chamomile, cinnamon, and wheat flour. If you're traveling and you're having cramps, I know, I'll use it. Well, Hildegard's recipe just called for chamomile and wheat flour. I added the cinnamon for taste. I assume she finished the mural. We've given, like, our input on what the last panel would be. And, it was mentioned that, like, we're getting paid for something. So I assume it's the mural. I'd like to see if we can go look at it before we leave, though, obviously. I'm so sorry about what happened to your father. Thank you. Mother Francesca had us all say prayers for him. And for you as well when she heard you were leaving. So how come you're allowed to come into town, Sister Gertrude? We were told that only one of the sisters was allowed to do that, and it wasn't you. Really? That's so sweet. Please thank her for me. I will. We'll all miss you so much, Magdalene. I'll miss you too. God bless you. Safe travels. So we can't go farther this way. So we can't, like, make a detour to the mural. But I can only assume, like, it will be shown to us. Surely. Oh. Hey, Mags. Otto. I'm really sorry about your dad. It was months ago now. He was always nice to me. My mom says he was a good man. Have we not talked since my dad died? Have I just, like, holed myself up in the woods like Andreas? He was a good dad. Well, thanks. Should get going. Mags. Magdalene. You sure you don't want to marry me? Bruh. It's a little late for that, don't you think? Right. I just didn't want to spend the rest of my life wondering if I should have asked. You know? Look after your mother, Ertz. This is the new priest, Elias. Wonder when he arrived, with the snows and everything. Good morning, Mr. Struckeren. Are you off soon? Yes, Father. Just saying my last few farewells. Of course. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to know you or your father. God rest his soul. I am too. Don't let those bohemians put any heretical ideas in your head. Once their pernicious seeds take root, they can choke the faith right out of you. Oh, so he's a racist too. Don't know, Father. I've heard they have some interesting ideas. All right, young lady. Just because I'm new here doesn't mean you should tease me. God bless you, Father Elias. God bless you in your travels. God bless you as well, Sister Amelie. Are you leaving today? I am. I'm just heading up to the mill in a bit. I'm so sorry for everything that happened. Your home was destroyed. True. And your church. But I have lost my home before. I will find another. It is strange, though, standing in the light after all these years. Where is she living? Thank you for helping me. Do you know what you'll do now? Will you become an anchoress again? I don't know, honestly. Father Elias is trying to help me, but I need to learn to rely on my own judgment a little more. It's going to take a long time to atone for my part in what happened. Perhaps the rest of my life. God, you were tricked. We all were. Even so, I must make amends. I'm writing an account of what happened here. As well as I can remember it anyway. It is not enough to earn forgiveness. I pray that it will at least illuminate this history of great darkness. Good. It's worth remembering. God bless you, Sister Amelie. God bless you and keep you safe on your travels, Magdalene. So now we can head up to the mill. And that is the only place we can go. Magdalene, dear, I wish you'd stay with us. Little Andreas and Ulrika will miss you greatly. I'll miss them also. Tossing is not the place for me. It's past time to leave. You will find your happiness out there yet, somewhere beyond the hills and valleys. I know it in my heart. God looks after you as he does for us all. That is my hope. Hope is what drives us forward. Maybe one day you'll come to visit us again, with your own family in tow. Maybe. If not, please do write of your life out there. When I was younger, I often dreamed of traveling, visiting the many kingdoms. But I found my peace, here and now in Tassing, even after all that happened. With your husband? He was an awful man. I think it was his fault. Agnes always said that it was his fault. But then later, he gifted me Paul. At least I get Paul, and the two of us survived those frightening times. When Paul and Anna found each other after all we had suffered, it was like a miracle. My little darlings. Without them, I'd never had little Andreas and Ulrika. I'm rambling. Stay safe on the road, Magdalene, dear. We're still in dangerous times. I will. Godspeed, Magdalene. So there's Andreas. He shaved his Gandalf beard. He looks very skinny now. So are we just leaving without getting to see the mural? That would be a shame. Are you sure I look alright? Of course, Andreas. You look perfectly respectable. You're a little worse for wear, but a good sight better than you were. Or maybe Andreas is leaving. That's what this cart is for. It was kind of the women to help clean me up. I'm afraid I'd forgotten how to look after myself. Some would say you took care of yourself quite admirably. How many men here could have survived in a burned-out cellar for the better part of 20 years? Subsisting on our discarded rye, no less. I'm sorry about that. Andreas, we already told you, it's alright now. Magdalene. Hello, Magdalene. Are you off soon? Hello. Yes, I'm riding with your flower to the Mittenwald, and then down the Isar. I'm sorry to see you go, Magdalene. I hope Prague is everything you've dreamed of. So it is us leaving, not Andreas. If it's half the city Esther describes, I'm sure I'll love it. You'll have a chance to make a life of your own there. God knows I've squandered so much of mine. Use the time you have and use it well. I will. Don't know how, but I will. I wish he could have seen it, Andreas. I know. He would have loved it. I hope so. Magdalene, if angels carried him down to bear witness, the heavenly host would have wept at it. Now I know you're just trying to make me feel better. He was always proud of you, and he would be still. Magdalene, I wanted to ask you something about the mural before you go. I thought it was supposed to cover the whole wall. Why did you leave a section blank? For the future. Unless history is going to stop in tossing the moment I roll down the road. I think your wagon is about to leave. Oh, it is. But all my stuff's still in my house. It hardly feels like enough time. Thank you for everything you did for me. For my family. Bruh, Andreas didn't even hug her back. He's lost all of his social skills in his 18 years of isolation. God bless you, Andreas Mahler. What about all my stuff? What about the mural? Andreas? Are you alright? I'm lost. That's alright. You're welcome to stay with us for as long as you need. Besides, you can't leave yet. The children require your expertise. Oh? They're up on the mill, the walkway. I'll have supper ready when you're done. Just remember that you're always welcome in our home, Andreas. Nod. Okay. So where Andreas again? Maybe Andreas can look at the mural? No? Maybe we can go after we help the kids. So Sister Amelie wrote the story that was all of this. Sadly, we don't get to see the mural. Oh, no, we do. I spoke too soon. Here it is. So here's the pagan myth with the wolf and Raytus. In the spring. I'm glad we didn't base the second part of our mural on St. Moritz and St. Satya. So here's Lady Tirsow founding the abbey in like the Roman aqueducts underneath. Here's Otto making his like speech, and the soldiers marching in the mill in the background. I think this is a good depiction of what's important about the revolt, which was like the people standing up for themselves. So I'm quite happy with that.
beschleunigten Saft. So
It's already chipped. Then here's the ending, which is very chipped, where we have the Mithraeum and the church on top. You know, if we're doing it in chronological order, maybe this should have gone earlier. But it's good that we did depict it, I think. Kind of looks like Andreas. And then this is Magdalene Druckerin. So here's our family tree. Does that mean we're Leonard's, like, cousin?
Das küsste mich auf Deutsch und sprach auf Deutsch. Man glaubt, es kam wie gutes Glas.
So I guess we did a family tree of all the villagers. Why is Václav, like, on a pyre? Did he get burned? But he was just in the, like, cart. He just drove off with us. That's not crazy. Or maybe we're, like, looking into the future. Yeah, because Andreas is, like, much older now. So this is the part we left empty, and then this is what the people did with it, maybe? Oh, that's Andreas Müller painted all of that, I guess. That's what's being conveyed. I'm glad that we did, in fact, get to see the mural. So that's Pentiment. I knew it was that bastard Father Thomas all along. But I really enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed this story, and it kept surprising me with... I thought it would be over, and then there was, like, a whole additional portion to it. I'm glad that Andreas survived, even though I think it's really sad how Casper died. I'm really interested to find out, like, how much things could have changed if Casper would have lived if we'd been a dick to him, or if Andreas would have died if we'd been a dick to him and Casper would have, like, been here for this final portion. It would be really interesting to know. I wonder if there could have been an alternate ending if I'd been more, like, receptive to Ertz, if we could have gotten married to him and stayed, or if we were always going to leave to Prague. I do think that's, like, the better ending for our Magdalene, at least. I also, like, I was really impressed with the amount of research that they put in the game. It's very, like, realistic, even though this is probably a fake town, Tossing. Everything else about it is, like, situated in, like, a real period, a real culture, like, a real time frame, and it very easily could have existed. I wouldn't be surprised at all if, like, there were very similar towns in Bavaria that had a very similar history, including with, like, the Roman ruins and the Mithraeum, if, like, that's a temple to Mars, but it I don't know. It could like very easily have happened this way. Um, and there was nothing that really jumped out at me as inaccurate in any way, which I think is very impressive and uh, like really fantastic to have experienced. So I really enjoyed this. Thank you to those of you who enjoyed it with me. And we'll call it there.